Tuesday morning, Hot Mike rolls on here. You know, it's fitting for our next guest to join us because today is the opening day of the State A Boys Golf Meet happening up in Grand Forks. And our next guest, he won a few of those during his time at Fargo South, and now big-timer Division I men's golf coach at North Dakota State, Steve Kennedy, joins us here. Tell me, what is the one worst weather memory you have from the State A golf tournament happened in early June?
I remember, I think it was in Jamestown, and Don Johnson and I were huddled behind about 3 pine trees on hole 7, trying to stay out of the wind and the rain and trying to stay warm. I think that was the worst one that we've ever been at.
Oh, man. Those Fargo South teams, though, I know you look back fondly and everybody talks about Tom and what he did, but what about it, Steve, was that you guys just kept rolling? You knew everybody was going to give you your best shot, and yet you guys still won it every year.
You know, the kids, they competed so hard. They always told me the toughest thing that they had to face was their qualifying. And once they got through the qualifying, going to the tournaments, it was kind of just relax and let's play. So, you're right. We had a lot of great players come through there.
Did you ever have a time where you actually sweated it out on the final day? Like, okay, this is coming down, or you guys were always up by 30 shots?
There were a couple of times. I remember 2008. I think we were probably the 3rd best team in the state that year, and we won the region barely, and then we went out to Dickinson and won, I think, by 3 or 4. That was probably the one that meant the most to me too, because my son played on that team.
Yeah.
And a lot of his friends, and so it was a special one.
Well, it's great to see you. We're talking off the top of the show. You know, we hit on this program all the time about the transfer portal in football, basketball, hockey, baseball. I haven't talked about it in golf. What was your experience like with the transfer portal in golf?
It's not that much different from just recruiting. I kind of heard some rumors that Gabe was gonna go into that portal, and so I started looking, following it every day and seeing if he was in there. And then all of a sudden he was there, and just made the phone call, and everything worked out well, and he's going to be a Bison next year.
You know Gabe well from obviously his days at Davies. What about his game has changed over the last couple of years? I know you talked with Jeff yesterday that when he came out, there just wasn't a spot in your team, but how much of the 2 years at Concordia helped him to get ready for Division I golf in your mind?
Yeah, he's dedicated himself to golf. His fitness, he's gotten stronger. His mental game has gotten a lot tougher. He, just competing at that level and having such low scores, just every day getting a little bit better. And, I think that he's ready to take that next step.
To have a championship in the back pocket, that goes a long way as well, I have to imagine, right?
Yeah, it does. It shows that he can compete under pressure. And I like I said yesterday to Kolpak was, I watched him play in the Bobcat last year with some of our guys, and it showed me that he could play with them. He has the length, and he's got the drive to do it.
Especially at that course, that at Fargo Country Club, that takes something else too, right?
That does. And the other thing is all of our guys know Gabe.
Yeah.
They play with him in the summertime, and they've told me. I talked to them before I made the proposal to Gabe to come over here, and they all thought that he was a great fit and had the game to play here.
You and I have talked often about making sure you've got a good contingent of local guys. This is another one. Obviously, you have Jake Scarperud. You have Ian Simonich back for another year from Moorhead. Where have you seen the biggest strides made in local golf over the last couple? You've seen it forever, but maybe in the last handful of years, where's the biggest strides come from local golfers?
I think being able to compete at being next to Minnesota and being able to go over there and compete in the summer in the tournaments that they offer, I think that's the biggest thing. Going out and trying to qualify for the state open and the state am, playing in the Red River Valley am, that's another tournament that's becoming a great tournament in the area, and it just shows what our guys can do here.
And you got a bunch of guys who are going to be playing, and I know shameless self-promotion, we're televising that again on Extra, but you have a bunch of your team that's going to be back there in a couple weeks, right?
Yeah, I think most of them are back. I think like take that back. 7 of the 9 guys will be playing in that tournament. the one young man from Mesa won't be up here, and the one that's coming in from Woodbury will also not be up here.
On the road recruiting golf, I'm always interested on this because we talk about recruiting in baseball, basketball, football. Tell me on recruiting golf. What are you looking for in a high school player right now?
The length is one thing. They have to be able to get off the tee. The other thing is just their demeanor. When I go to a golf tournament, unlike, I talk to the football coaches and they go out, they watch 800 guys in one day. I see 3 guys. I follow them around the golf course, and then I kind of get a gut feeling from the kids and their parents, and to make sure that they're coming in, they're willing to put the work in to get better. And that's kind of what I'm looking for.
You mentioned demeanor. Is it how they act on the course, Steve? Like if something doesn't go their way, like is that something you're really focusing on?
Yeah, I really don't want someone that has a hot temper.
Huh.
It just, I see a lot of it when we're playing in some of our tournaments. I hear a lot of four-letter words flying around, and I just don't like that. That's not who I am, and that's not what our program represents. And so I look for people that handle themselves well, and they have the game, and it's been a good fit for everybody here so far.
If a player is a slow player, is that tolerated? Could you do that, or is that how do you handle that?
We try to work on that. Slow play bothers me. But there's a difference between slow play, I guess, and I'm not even sure how to put it.
Methodical? Is that a better way?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, walk with a little bit of a pace to get to the shot, and then if you need to take a little bit of time, then take some time, but get there for God's sakes.
That drives me crazy as well. Slow play, like
me too.
Come on, just go up and hit the ball. Let's go. What do we wait? You know what I mean? Right?
And they play better when they play quicker.
Yeah.
And nothing drives me nuts when coaches walk along with players and they analyze each shot for 3 minutes.
Wow.
And it's like, come on, let's just let them play.
So here, I don't know this answer, so I'll ask you, what are you allowed to do? Like during a tournament, are you allowed to be there? Or like how much coaching can you do during a tournament?
You can pretty much do anything but hit the shot.
Wow.
You can read putts. You can do whatever you want to do.
No kidding.
My philosophy is just let them play. And if they want me, then they ask me to walk along, or they'll say, "Hey, coach, can you look at this putt?" Otherwise, I just let them go.
That's interesting. We were visiting off air. You've already got your schedule for next season, and you're playing some heck of a courses here. Give us for the viewers out there where you're going to be heading next season.
Some of the highlights: we're going to Bethpage, Red and Black. We're going to go back to Bandon Dunes. We're going to play Torrey Pines South. We're going to go to Monterrey, Mexico. That's a great tournament.
Nice.
The little kids down there flock to our players, and they ask for autographs, and they make them gifts, and it's just a great, great atmosphere.
So that's fantastic. That's 2 U.S. Open courses I heard there that you're going to be doing next season.
Yeah. So it's we've gotten a lot better invitations since our play has improved over the last 3 or 4 years.
How is that is that more based on results that they see, or like for you to get invited to some of these events?
Yeah, it is. When we get to these other tournaments, I have coaches come up and say, "Hey, you guys are really playing well. We're going to have this tournament next year. We'd really like you to come out for that."
That's pretty cool.
So that's kind of how it's been working.
I know you're busy, but the professional game right now is, as a lifelong golf fan, where are you at right now with how the men's professional game is? Are you frustrated with where things are at with the LIV and the PGA?
Yeah, I mean, I wish they'd all get back on one page. Have all the good players playing against each other. It's kind of frustrating, and I'm not a LIV guy. I mean, I want the PGA guys to always win those tournaments.
Yeah.
So, and my number one guy obviously is Hoagie. I want him to play well and get back into the Masters, and I follow him every tournament.
Well, U.S. Open is next week. That's right up his alley. He loves super tough. It's Pinehurst. That could be right up his alley, right, for a tournament he could potentially play well in.
I think so. You just have to put 4 good days together. Seems like he lets one day slip away every time.
I think we find for people that now follow him, Steve, they get a better appreciation of how actually freaking hard it is on that tour to do that. For the guys, they make it look easy. Like watching Robert McIntyre win the Canadian Open the other day with his dad caddying, which was fantastic. But It's super hard to do that, to play 4 great rounds. I don't know how they do it, frankly.
Yeah, I mean, I can't play 18 good holes anymore. So to play 4 days in a row and play well, it's very, very hard.
What's the best round you ever shot, actually? I need to know this. What's your lowest score you ever shot? And where were you?
67.
And where was that?
That was at Lisbon Bissell.
Wow.
Back in the day. Yep.
You still have that scorecard?
No, I don't. I don't. Now I'm hoping to break 80s or not break 70s, getting the 78, 79 scores now. It doesn't get any easier when you get older.
Well, you were just telling me, how often have you played now?
I played 2 rounds this year.
Man.
Yeah. It gets harder and harder to get out, and I don't know why. I should have more time. But I don't.
Well, we had you on when Tom made it to Augusta, so I'll ask this question differently now. Is there a course that you'd love to play that you have that's attainable? Like, I know Augusta's out there, but is there a course out there? You know what? Before I want to make sure I play this one. Which one comes to mind when I say that?
I think probably Pinehurst.
Okay.
I've never been there, and I think that'd be a fun one to do.
Well, if Tom takes care of business, I'm sure he'll have membership. He can invite you then, right?
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
It's great to see you. Congratulations on getting Gabe on, and I hope you have a great summer. I know you're gonna be busy, and I'll see you at the golf course in a couple weeks in Moorhead. Okay?
Yes, I will. I'll make sure I stop by and say hi.
Sounds good. Thanks, Coach. Good to see you, bud.
All right. Thanks, Tom. Bye-bye.
Steve Kennedy, NDSU men's golf coach, joining us this morning on adding Gabe Benson. We've had Gabe on the show a couple of times after he won the MIAC championship at Concordia, and then when he qualified just a few weeks ago for the Division III tournament, the first Cobber ever to do that. And I visited with Gabe briefly yesterday for a segment we did on the news last night, and he said, I've had the confidence to do it, wanted to test it, and went into the portal, and NDSU had an opening, and before you knew it, he's going to be playing for the Bison. So I know we're so inclined to look at the other sports. It happens in golf as well. And Gabe has certainly proven that he's had the game to go and do it. He'll be part also of the field at the River Amateur that you'll see live. Our coverage on WDAY begins on June 21st. So 2 weeks from Friday, we'll be out at MCC for the 4th year in a row we're doing that. Looking forward to that. We'll take our final break. We come back. We'll get you ready. We got a busy Sports Tuesday on tap. We'll answer our poll question as well. Hot Mike will wrap right after this.